Quiet!
Oh, that gives me a great idea. Why am I always in Bremerton when I think of movie ideas? So I got into a little, it wasn't really an argument, it was kind of a back and forth about children's movies. And the topic came down to what you know, relegates what's a kid's movie and what's not. Because I was talking about Big Hero 6 and how I thought it was a little dark, a little emotional to be a kid's movie, right? And then just now I was thinking of all the messed up kids movies I've seen, and I was like, oh, what the hell? So I can make a top 5 messed up kids movie list. Yeah! And that'd be easy to start number 1 with The Labyrinth, because Jesus, have you seen The Labyrinth? David Bowie is a scary motherfucker in that movie with his balls all in the screen all the time. His balls have more screen time than some of the characters of the movie, which is, you know, it's kind of astonishing that they managed that. But yeah, that's them balls, man. Jennifer Connelly gets some balls in her face too. It's just balls. That whole movie revolves around balls. And a little baby gets kidnapped, and that's what. The part that makes it a disturbing kids movie isn't even the balls. It's I'm not sure if they're called the Wild Gang or the Fire Gang. It's my favorite part of the movie. It's when she's walking through the woods, and I'm totally gonna put that entire little intro. I'll put the creepiest part in here. When one of them like rips out his fucking eyeballs and like throws them like dice or some shit and then eats them. Like, what the fuck? This is a kids movie. That gang gave my sisters like nightmares back when they were younger. So yeah, The Labyrinth, easily a demented kids movie. And number four immediately, and that is gonna be The Last Unicorn. Because have you watched The Last Unicorn? Have you? That movie, as I said to the person I was going back and forth with, that movie has boobs, tacos, it's either tacos or burritos, and Red Bull. And that is the culmination of that movie. It makes no sense. People die. There's a vulture that's got her titties hanging out in part of the movie that, like, is it a visor or something? And I don't even know, man. Don't try to watch that movie though, because it'll make your brain will kind of die a little bit. You'll lose a few IQ points watching that movie. It's a terrible, terrible flick. I don't even. You know what? It doesn't belong on this list because it's not that demented, but I'll put Big Hero 6 at number 3. Just cause, you know, that kid goes through some shit. Now, other than that part, and maybe him flipping out, the movie's an okay kids movie. But the amount of things that kid goes through is like, that can't be a kids movie, because how are kids gonna understand why he's sad? And then it's animated and everything's big and fluffy and they got jokes and stuff, kids jokes, so it's obviously marketed to kids, but I don't know, that movie clearly begs for an older audience. Like, it clearly. Let's see, number 2. Number 2 is gonna go to another puppet movie. That's gonna be The Dark Crystal. Now, Dark Crystal's not so much of a demented one, so much as it's a freaky one, and your kids might not like it, even though it is marketed as a kids movie. Kids might be scared of this movie, and so, you know, it's kind of wasted on them. I guess that's what I'm going more for with the kids movies, is that it's wasted on the demographic that it's marketed towards. So Dark Crystal is in the same vein as The Labyrinth, except nobody is human, I don't think. Everything's puppets, everything. Muppets, if you want to call them Muppets. And the whole movie is about light and dark. Like, there is literally a species that is the light side and a species that is the dark side. And, like, so if one of them dies, the other side also dies. So, like, I think there's like 10 of them, maybe? I don't even know if that's right. And you'll see as the movie progresses, like, one of the bad ones will die. Like, somebody will kill it. And then one of the good ones, like, vaporized. It's like, poof. And, like, there's no way children are understanding what's going on. And the whole point is that they need to get the shard of the crystal back to the Dark Crystal, because it's the Dark Crystal, and if you put it back, then it will no longer be the Dark Crystal. It'll just be the crystal or something. and it's up to the species, the Gelflings. Gelfling, you smell like Gelfling. to go and to go back and do it, because only a Gelfling can do it. But at the same time, they feed on the essence of Gelflings, so if they got a hold of one, that like supercharges them and they become like crazy strong or something. Question mark. But there's this awesome scene that I love in the movie where like the main antagonist is just walking around and he's constantly making this whining noise. So he's just like, It's like a 30-second scene. I shit you not. I'm gonna find some of his whining, and that's gonna be put in this video. I'm not gonna stop everything so that you can see the whining. That'll probably be the intro. So, yeah, that whining, I love that. I sometimes do it, and if people get it, like in public, it's just so awesome. Let's go to number one. Number one is a movie that I don't think anybody should watch ever. And I only call it a kids movie because it's animated, and the animation is kind of old school Disney style, and it's bunnies. They're bunnies. So, you know, if at first glance, if you just look at this movie, like from an outside perspective, I'm like rubbing down my bike to get the dirt off of her. But if you just glance at this movie, like the cover, you might actually be like, oh, it's a kids movie, and buy it for some kids, right? That would be a horrible, horrible mistake. The movie's name is Watership Down. I believe that is the name. Watership Down. This movie is beyond words. How I described it was it's rabbits and a field of blood. And like they just go, these rabbits like go through hell, and there's like spiritual scenes, and then there's gore, and like the rabbits die in these horrible ways. And again, the only reason I'm saying this is a kids movie is because of the style of animation. I need to get from behind this truck. The style of animation and the fact that they chose all the characters to be bunnies. And it is just, you know, whoa. Yeah. A Watership Down is like, it's not safe for life kind of movie. If you know the internet's not safe for life. That's what that is. And that movie is just, like, I can't even give you any like direct parts of it. They just die. They're just horrible death. So yeah, that's the top 5 not worst kids movies, but most demented, freaky kids movies I've ever seen. If you've seen some worse movies than that for kids, let me know about that. I would love to watch them.